Blue Cantrell was quite possibly of the greatest name in ARB. In the mid-2000s, however, at that point, she unexpectedly vanished. And supposedly it's all in light of the fact that Beyoncé attempted to take out her from screwing with Jay-Z, the very individual that looted me for like $500 for a meeting, turned out to be in the studio. While I was there with the leader of the Marktails that Jay-Z assisted Beyoncé with eliminating her opposition are the same old thing from the late Aaliyah to a merry female craftsman whose vacations were purportedly disrupted so Beyoncé could move forward anyway. With regards to Blue Cantrell, things were private, since she fostered a cozy relationship with Jay-Z close to the time Jay began dating Beyoncé, and afterward the entire situation took a dull turn. When Blue was found meandering the roads of Stinik Monica and guaranteeing that somebody harmed her with Gas Blue Cantrell you were singing, and you settled on a decision to work with somebody, and you presumably didn't understand how evil he was the point at which you engaged with him. I didn't yet. When Beyoncé and Jay-Z truly engaged with this episode, did they attempt to dispose of Blue Cantrell on the grounds that Beyoncé was desirous of her? We should stall down. It doesn't on the grounds that you're around one another so much, and you're battling, and you're criticizing, and certainly can connect with that. There's been a ton of hypothesis throughout the long term about Jay-Z and Beyoncé wiping out their opposition. While heading to the top, and the rundown of specialists whose professions they purportedly undermined is super lengthy, yet one name that frequently gets disregarded on this rundown is Blue Cantrell. Jay-Z's reputed ex-Blue began her profession in the last part of the 90s as a foundation performer for high-profile craftsmen. For example, Diddy before Eli Reed offered her an agreement in the wake of hearing her sing one of her unique tunes in July 2000, and One Blue delivered her presentation collection, So Blue. And the record was a basic and business achievement. The collection's lead single hit M Up Style procured Blue 2 Grammy selections, and her vocation was on the ascent the entire way through 2003, when she delivered her second collection, Mixed Anyway. At some point in 2001, Blue fostered a cozy relationship with Jay-Z, who had quite recently begun dating Beyoncé. This was likewise when Beyoncé began dealing with her performance vocation. And in 2003, that very year, Blue delivered self-contradicting Beyoncé's introduction collection, Hazardously Enamored. Came out. This supposedly prompted an unpleasant fight among Beyoncé and Blue on the grounds that in addition to the fact that Beyoncé purportedly terrified of was Blue's prosperity, yet she likewise thought that Jay and Blue were something other than companions. Blue later demanded that there was nothing happening among her and Jay anyway, when Wendy Williams inquired as to whether she at any point took her fellowship with Jay to the powerful Blue, just chuckled anxiously and said she can't address that question. Have you at any point kissed Jay-Z sincerely? I realized no, I can't answer that. I can't answer that. Gracious, she's igniting him. The neck. Did you see the reason why people groups not have any desire to let the Jay-Z Blue Cantrell thing go? Wendy then proposed that Jay probably chose to zero in on Beyoncé rather than Blue, since Blue wasn't youthful enough for himself, and he really wanted somebody more guileless that he could control all the more effectively. I said on the radio that I didn't figure it would endure, however, what me and him, no doubt. Why, since you're around 25. Why he wants someone more youthful than that by the day's end, no doubt. For what reason do you say? That since I think toward the day's end, a more youthful less true to the types of behavior that most people will accept as normal, wide someone somewhat more gullible, yet things got considerably more chaotic after Beyoncé and Jay-Z delivered a music video for their 2003 collab Bonnie and Clyde. And Blue freely expressed that the video looks basically the same as the promotion for her tune Gathering, which came out first, yet the similitudes didn't simply end there. In November 2002, Blue delivered a collab with Sean Paul called Breed, and only months after the fact, Beyoncé dropped her track Child Kid, highlighting Sean Paul. Gracious, and by the manner in which on-child kid Beyonce sings a line, "Let me inhale occurrence," perhaps anyway the happenstance is continued to stack up in one more journey from Beyonce's presentation collection, called Signs. Includes the verses, "I was enamored with the Sagittarius, I wish he was a Virgo, a similar sign as me in skill to show me love. 'Cause I've been wounded by a Pisces, clearly Jay-Z is a Sagittarius. Yet think about who's a Pisces, that is correct Blu Cantrell." And when Blu has gotten some information about this large number of happenstances in her 2003 meeting with the gatekeeper, she said, "I'm a grown-up, she's more youthful, and in the event that she's doing what you're talking about, she's little juvenile," yet Blu didn't stop there. And she likewise cautioned Beyoncé not to play with her. Perhaps she's attempting to do it to get squeezed, yet I need to cause her to comprehend, assuming she goes there with me. It's some unacceptable move. Blu said she wants to comprehend what she's doing and what she's getting into. She likewise proceeded to say that she's a preferred performer over Beyoncé, and she provoked Beyoncé to get in front of an audience and fight it out live in evident style. Yet she would rather not do that, Blu added, apparently proposing that Beyoncé realizes she would lose to Blu in a sing-all. And when inquired as to why she thinks Beyoncé was tossing that large number of subconscious shots at her, Blu said in the event that she is being pessimistic, she needn't bother with to be on the grounds that she's a wonderful young lady. Yet on the off chance that you disapprove of your man, address it with a person, don't take it out on the young lady. So it seems as though Blu was saying that Beyoncé was compromised in light of the fact that Jay actually had a few extra affections for herself. And on the off chance that this is valid, it would make sense of why Jay picked the name Blu for his firstborn girl Beyoncé, and Jay-Z never uncovered why they picked that name for Blue Ivy. And it was at first detailed that Jay picked his name since Blu is his #1 variety on the track. Go off the deep end with youthful Jeezy. He rapped my #1 shade is Jay-Z Blu. And furthermore has 3 collections named the Diagram. Anyway, there's been a ton of hypothesis among fans that it was truly Jay's relationship with Blu Cantrell that enlivened his affection for Blu and his girl's name. Yet assuming you think naming your most memorable conceived kid after your ex's frightening stand, by till you hear how Jay and Beyoncé purportedly attempted to dispose of Blu Cantrell in September 2014. Blu was found by police meandering the roads of Stinik, Monica at 2 a.m. and shouting that somebody had harmed her with gas. As per TMZ, the episode continued long sufficient that somebody called the police, and Blu was then taken to a close-by emergency clinic for a clinical assessment. After this occurrence, Blu was dropped from her mark, and from that point forward, she's been getting more than once dismissed by all record names. Back in 2013, she guaranteed she was working freely on her 3rd studio collection. Anyway, the collection actually hasn't come around, and from that point forward, Blu has essentially vanished from the spotlight. Yet is it truly conceivable that Jay-Z and Beyoncé had something to do with Blu's unexpected vanishing? Grade. It appears as though a ton of fans trust this to be valid. And Jay-Z's previous Foundation vocalist Puma Wright as of late reignited this discussion, which he brought up that many individuals who were in contest with Jay-Z and Beyoncé either passed on under dubious conditions or had their vocations demolished for the time being. In a new popular video, Panther raised them.